You know, when you have a show about gratitude, you've got to be grateful for your sponsors. And in our life of gratitude, you know, we all have guides. Somebody that guided us through our lives, that made us appreciate those things that we have. And that's why I'm so delighted and so grateful for our sponsor, Life Guides. Life Guides is a peer-to-peer community that helps people navigate through their day-to-day stressors by providing a place of empathy, listening, wisdom, and support with a guide who has walked in your shoes, experiencing the same challenge or life experience as you. A true life guide. And because you're listening to our gratitude podcast, if you go to their website, lifeguides.com/schedule a demo and add the code HEALTHY2021. The code is HEALTHY2021 in the free text box. You'll get 2 months of their services for free. 2 months for free. So sign up, show your team you care, get a life guide, be grateful for those guides in your life, as I am grateful for our sponsor, Life Guides. Hey, Chester Elton here. Welcome to Leading with Gratitude Live. I'm your host, Chester Elton, the apostle of appreciation, coming to you from the Gratitude Viral Epicenter in Summit, New Jersey. You know, give us 30 minutes. We'll give you some great information, some great inspiration, and your own personal roadmap to create a culture of gratitude where you work and where you live. All brought to you through LinkedIn Live, Facebook, YouTube, and put together by the amazing folks at the Methods Network. Well, today I am really excited to bring to you our guest. His name is David Meltzer. Let me tell you a little bit about David. David is the co-founder of Sports One Marketing for entertainment agency, which was the inspiration for the movie Jerry Maguire, one of my favorites. His life mission is to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. He's a 3-time international best-selling author, a top 100 business coach, the executive producer of Entrepreneur's #1 digital business show, The Elevator Pitch, and host of the top entrepreneur podcast, The Playbook. His newest book, Game Time Decision Making, was a #1 new release. David has been recognized by Variety magazine as their Sports Humanitarian of the Year, awarded the Ellis Island Medal of Honor, and most recently, this is one of my favorites, at the last Super Bowl, David was honored as the MVP, the most valuable philanthropist. I'm more than excited to introduce you my new friend, David Meltzer. David, welcome to LinkedIn Live and Leading with Gratitude Live. I can't tell you how excited I am to spend some time with you.
I feel the same way. There could not be a better show or a better use of my time than to be with you, Chester. Thank you so much.
Well, you're very gracious. You know, there's going to be a lot of questions for you, so I want to introduce our audience to our question command center, you know, manned by Justin Levere. Justin, if you want to wave to the crowd there, we'll get a quick shot of you. Put your questions in the chat box. Excellent. Well, listen, persistence is a big theme of yours through your life, through your success, through all your philanthropy. Talk to me a little bit about your story of persistence and how it can help people through the COVID virus.
You know, I think that the first realization that our senses and our memories are not very good, and it fools us, and that's why people quit. I have a usual mathematical equation that most people quit when they're 25% of the way there, 99% of the people. And the reason they quit is they feel stuck. They don't see the progress. And that's because, like I said, their senses aren't accurate and their memories aren't accurate. In fact, if I asked you to take a millimeter and double it to the segments of 25% of the way, people wouldn't recognize the distance. But if you have acceleration and growth, when you get to 50% of the way there, people even feel more stuck. Unfortunately, they're only half as much time to get to 100% of the way there. So for me, understanding how we have to be consistent and persistent in what we're doing. We can't vote for what other people want. We quit on what we're doing. We have to have our own values that we take inventory of and take action and vote for what we want and look at the road that we want to travel and stay persistent. Do not quit.
So a lot of people are feeling stuck right now. Is it that persistence is it in the last 10%, or what advice do you give to people that you're working with in any phase of life where, I mean, they're stuck at home. They're stuck in what they think they can do. What's the first thing you tell them to do to get unstuck?
For me, it's really related to your show, Leading with Gratitude. I always say, if you feel stuck, the best thing you can do is go do a good deed. Go do something or something for someone else. Make room for what you want. Nothing happens until you move, and the best movement we can have is gratitude. So whether it's going to pick up trash up around your neighborhood, or put a grocery cart back, or do a favor for a friend, or volunteer somewhere, the minute you do something good, we're vibrating at the fastest frequency, and you will start making room for what you want, and you will feel unstuck by that truth, that gratitude.
I love what you said. I am such a huge fan of just random acts of kindness, just simple little random acts that you're right, just get you out of the woe is me and how can I serve. Now, you use the word there, vibrate, and you have a great story on how you found your vibration. Can you take a minute and share that with us?
Yeah, well, in my 30s, I ran the most notable sports agency in the world, Leigh Steinberg Sports Entertainment. And I was in ego-based consciousness a lot of my life. And I was taking a flight to India, and this wonderful medical doctor, Dr. Sangeeta Sahi, was sitting next to me. I didn't know her. And she looked at me and she said, she goes, "Are you okay?" And then literally in my egotistical mind, I'm like, "Am I okay? Do you know who I am?" And I said, "Why?" She said, "Well, because you're so full of light, but you're blocking it." I immediately rolled my eyes and thought, this is going to be the longest trip to India of my life. And I said, "Well, I don't understand." She said, "Do you meditate?" And I literally went on this soliloquy of saying, meditation, I don't have time to meditate. I'm a multimillionaire. I was born with nothing. I've made everything myself. I've done it myself. I don't have time to meditate. People that meditate are sitting at home high on their mom's couch, broke. Why would I want to meditate? And she said, "Because I could teach you to vibrate faster." And I looked at her like, "Oh gosh, what do you mean vibrate faster?" She said, "Well, everything vibrates, the earth, plants, animals, humans, sound, light, and then thought." And then she asked me a question that changed my life. She said, "Do you know what vibrates the fastest?" And I looked at her and I said, "No." And she said, "The truth. The truth vibrates the fastest. And you can only be aware of that which vibrates equal to or less than you. And I want to teach you to vibrate higher, to have a greater awareness of the truth." Even at that point, even though the hairs were standing up on my arm, my ego was too resistant to that type of idea or frequency. And so I kind of shrugged it off, and she offered me to come to her workshop. And I said, I don't really need awareness. And then, being a great saleswoman, she put me in my place by saying, "I could raise your awareness of when to buy or sell." And that hit my ego right where it needed to. So I went to the workshop. And the last literally 14 years of my life, I have meditated for 20 minutes a day, every day, finding my center, my highest frequency, my highest vibration, increasing my life by having a baseline to plateau and grow every day. And through gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and inspiration, all of those have come about through this idea of vibration.
It's an amazing story. You never know where that wisdom is going to come from, right? The person sitting next to you on the plane. It's interesting you mentioned India. We've got a really international and global crowd. We've got folks from Tunisia, Johannesburg, Mexico, Peru, Houston, and India. So talk to me a little bit about, you talk about the happiness virus, and of course there's the coronavirus. So talk to me about which is more powerful. I think I know the answer.
Well, my life is Yeah, for sure. Well, my mission in life is to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. And I'm fortunate because I have the happiness virus on my side in order to spread it. I'm looking for 1,000 people to empower 1,000 people to empower 1,000 people to be happy. Happiness is a virus. It's the only virus you can spread by simply witnessing it. It also is the strongest virus. It actually strengthens your immune system. It kills off all disease. In fact, if happiness and everyone that was happy, if it was an unconscious competency, if it was a collective belief, people that are happy don't get sick. People that are truly happy don't attack anyone. They don't have judgments or condition. Happy people live in an abundant world of more than enough of everything for everyone to come through them with appreciation, gratitude. And the other side of appreciation is to add value, right? Your house appreciates, it adds value. So it comes through you with appreciation for you to give to others. Once again, making room for what you want, expanding what you want, and allowing you to be happy and to empower others to be happy as well.
Well, I think, what's really interesting for me on your formula is the way that you want to empower people, the way you want to spread this goodness is you've got kind of this rule of three, which I love. It's like, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and then have a lot of fun. I mean, people just looking at your face go, well, that's a happy guy. He looks like he's having fun. And you also have a lot of money. So talk about that sequence and how that philosophy of life has really propelled you to do a lot of good, being the MVP, the most valuable philanthropist. Walk us through that a little bit. And why should people not feel bad about making a lot of money, right?
Yeah, I think, and that was my biggest, even when I had a lot of money the first time, I lost over $100 million and went bankrupt in 2008 and made it back by shifting my paradigm, not necessarily by thinking about giving, it was by receiving, by asking for help, by allowing others to give, by allowing others to feel good about giving. And so I think your relationship, number one, with money is very important. I had always thought that money bought me happiness and love until I realized that that was the wrong way to look at that currency, an object of energy that we put into the flow. Money to me is the power to shop. And if you shop for the right things, you'll be happy. And if you shop for the wrong things, you won't be. So I tell everyone, especially now I do a lot of, as executive coaching, business coaching, and I have a lot of my clients making a lot of money right now. And they're fighting their guilt, their worthiness. I feel guilty. I shouldn't tell people that I'm doing well. I said, what, are you kidding me? You cannot be poor enough to make people rich, but I can be rich enough to make everybody rich. And that's my true objective, is to make a lot of money, to help so many people by empowering them, right? Teaching them how to fish and empowering them to empower others. And then I promise you, they will have a lot of fun. So if you take the opportunity to blend currency of money with the currency of faith, you can make a lot of money and help a lot of people and have a lot of fun.
We were joking earlier. My mom had a great saying. She said, people who say money can't buy happiness have no idea where to shop. And I think you're right. It's, where are you shopping? What are you buying? Now, when you turned 50, you had like the best 50th birthday party I've ever heard of. In fact, you had 50 birthday parties, all with a noble cause, at the end. Talk about how you used your birthday to generate good.
Well, I'm the chairman of Unstoppable Foundation, and we empower, mostly it started with women in Africa and India. And my founder, Cynthia Kersey, started 10 years before this, the foundation on her 50th birthday. She had people give gifts and she started the foundation. Now we've, literally impacted thousands of people, built, many, many villages, I think 34 villages, built schools, all types of hospitals, great things. But I decided for my 50th birthday, being a sports guy, you heard of the 30 for 30? Well, I did the 50 for 50. 50 parties, one a week, basically, around the world to raise money to build community centers in Africa, in the Bugani, in Kenya. And I will tell you, it was the biggest venture I've ever set off on. It took an amazing effort. And my favorite line was, Cynthia, when I told her I was going to do it, she said, I can't wait to see what you receive for doing this. And for me, I have received so much by learning where and how to shop, and empowering me to empower others, simply to be happy. And I'll never forget that year of my life.
That's amazing. And I love that simple formula. You're billion people. It's 1,000 times 1,000 times 1,000. I mean, easy, right? Easy. So what did come back to you from all that goodness? What were some of the things that came back that specifically you can talk about?
Specifically the community centers that we built were a conduit to unify the traditional grandparents and parents that never were educated with all. We were creating a separation with the young people in the Bugani, the ones that now, before we got there, 9-year-old women were usually circumcised and married off, never going to school. Well, once these women started going to high school and college, well, now we had to unify the tradition with the new type of enlightenment or education. And these community centers allowed to raise the value of the traditional education of grandparents telling the stories and the lessons, just like your mother with her lessons, and Uncle Frankie and all these other people that impact our lives. That we, my biggest fear today too is people are losing the effect and the power of situational knowledge, experience, and advice. It also expanded me in the respect that it made so much room. It was the impetus to figure out how I could impact 1 billion people. And I used something that Steve Jobs taught me early in my career. I ran the world's first smartphone in 1999, the PCE phone, as a Windows C device. Jobs told me I connect the dots backwards, and I couldn't figure out. I thought people would think I was crazy when I came back from Africa, that my new mission in life was to impact over 1 billion people to be happy. But once I connected the dots backwards, when I step on stages like you, when I go on these shows, people don't think I'm so crazy that I can impact 1,000 people like Chester, knowing that he'll impact 1,000 to impact 1,000 in my lifetime.
Absolutely. Well, we do have a question from our question command center. So let's go to Justin. What question have you got for David? And he's muted. As soon as we get the sound back, we'll go back to our question command center. Hey, talk to me a little bit you talk about happy people are amazing. You've talked about how they are healthier, that they don't get sick. That what is, you and I talked earlier that gratitude attracts gratitude. What is it about this happiness thing that really does go so viral? And why is it not just a good way to live, it's a great way to run your business? Talk to me about the business of happiness.
So, it's really interesting because happiness is aligned with so many other pragmatic things that we do. It allows us to find the light, the love, and the lessons in everything we do, especially in business. We were talking about being stuck, but there's a lot of other challenges that people face. And if they don't find the light, the love, and the lessons, and they look for the void, shortages, and obstacles. To give you one simple example, my whole perspective of networking changed. I used to see everyone in a networking situation as a gatekeeper, somebody that was resisting, had to overcome, get through in order to get help. Once I shifted through gratitude and happiness, my perspective of 2 series of questions. 1, how I could be of service and value to others. And 2, knowing that everyone in the world was my sponsor or even my power sponsor. A sponsor is someone that knows someone or something that can help me. And a power sponsor is someone that can actually help me themselves with something or someone, or know somebody or something that can help me. And once you shift the paradigm in business to an abundant philosophy, not a fear-based philosophy, one of treating people with gratitude internally in your business and especially externally to your consumer, your business will thrive.
Excellent. I love that. Surround yourself with grateful people. Surround yourself with happy people, right? So we actually do have sound now. So we're going to go back to Justin. He's got a question for you. Go ahead, Justin.
National questions coming in. One from the UK, one from Dubai. I'm going to start with them. They're both money questions too, believe it or not. So earlier, David, you mentioned that you made it all and then you lost it all, had to file bankruptcy in 2008, lost $100 million. It's got to be a big hit, but you bounced back. And Mohammed from Dubai asks, most people would never, ever recover from losing that amount of money. So what did you do to maintain perspective in a time like that? And what was your key to being able to build it back up?
The key to building back up the money was to take inventory of my values. I'm one of the few people that will tell you that I bottomed out 2 years before I lost everything. I had acquired so much wealth that it took me a while for the effect of surrounding myself with the wrong people, the wrong ideas. So 2 years previous, I took stock in who I was. And once I took stock in my personal values, experiential values, giving values, and receiving values, and allowing myself to be a hypocrite every day, knowing that I'm expanding, accelerating, and growing, and that my values will change, and starting to vote for what I want. I was very prepared when I lost everything in 2008. I'm even more prepared now in 2020. And it all is because I know my values. And so when I'm stuck to those, when I graduated law school, I was a millionaire 9 months out of law school. I knew nobody. I really knew nothing, never had a real job. And I had now acquired so much dummy tech, situational knowledge, relationship capital. It took me only 2 weeks to make back my first $1 million by utilizing the relationships I have and the knowledge that I had gained. And most importantly, I learned to be radically humble and ask for help.
Cool. We've got a question from Aaron in Colorado. I think is a good friend of yours. So go ahead, Justin. What's Aaron got to ask?
Hey, Dave. Okay, so I'm guessing this is Aaron in Colorado from Junior Achievement, which is near and dear to your heart, Dave. David, sorry. She says, as entrepreneurs and the global economy kind of starts to regroup here, what are the most important lessons that we need to remember at this time?
I think as entrepreneurs, we have to remember the word capability. And capability is the aggregate of our skills. And so what we have to do is focus in on what we can control, improving our skills, developing our skills, asking for mentorship for our skills. The second thing is knowledge. We have such great access to knowledge, and allowing ourselves to learn and look for the light lessons in love and everything, and acquiring the knowledge that we want, need, or even have. And then finally, most importantly, I've been blessed. I have a podcast called The Playbook, where I get to interview the greatest athletes, celebrities, entertainers, and executives in the world, like Chester. And the one common denominator that I've learned, and we all have to understand, is that they all are inspired people. Motivation will get you up if you're feeling down, but inspiration will get you there. And an inspired person must be what they can be. And this show, we would talk about persistence. I talk about a new entrepreneur, an old entrepreneur. We need to enjoy, be happy about the consistent everyday pursuit of your potential. And if we all do that in an abundant perspective, we will accelerate and grow and learn these lessons that we're being provided to right now, and have a much better world to be in.
That's excellent. It's interesting. As I was doing my homework on you in greater depth, you talked about you have 4 things that they're foundational to your work. Number 1 is gratitude. Why is number 1 gratitude?
Oh, it's the most powerful thing in the world, Chester. As you know, I have been around. I sit on the Transformational Leadership Council. I'm the Chief Chancellor of Junior Achievement University with Bob Proctor, Jack Canfield, and Sharon Lechter. And the world thought leaders all agree. I've studied metaphysics, quantum physics, and physics. All prove one thing, that your perspective is everything. And what is the great control of perspective? Gratitude. If you look at life through a lens, a gracious lens, everything, your past, your present, and your future is bright. It's positive. And that lens of gratitude allows us to see the light, love, and lessons and everything. I tell everybody, a lot of people are like, oh, well, your life is so good. And I said, look, no matter, I've been with these athletes, celebrities, entertainers, and executives. You can only love so much of what you're doing. The people who are successful learn to love the other percentage of things, whether they're in the relationships they have, the business that they're doing, the community they're involved with, whatever it is. The key to happiness is gratitude allows you to learn to love the percentage of the things that we just don't like.
That's awesome. Couldn't agree more. Okay, we got 2 more questions and we're running out of time. So Justin, let's go.
Okay, international again. So this one's from Kenya, from Nelly. Says, how does your philosophy relate to the law of attraction? Is this the same thing, or is there some sort of difference here?
Only difference that I have in the law of attraction is I believe the law of Goya, get off your ass, is the effectuator of the law of attraction. So you can't sit at home doing nothing. You got to do something. Nothing happens till you move. And once you work within the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious, then a frequency is created that attracts to you what you want. But you just can't sit around with a vision board and dream about it. You got to get up and do something to get it as well.
Great stuff. Justin.
For one more, we've got one from India. Yoshita writes in and is trying to learn the secrets from you, Dave. And says, could you please share a little bit more about your networking principles?
Absolutely. So I am very clear on my networking principles, and I think it's the easiest of skills to learn. Number 1, know how we network. There's 4 ways that we can network today: in person, on the phone, via email, and media, radio, print, TV, and social media. And all you have to do is institute the ask and attract methodology. Learn a series of questions within the context of those 4 realms in order to ask people how that you can be of service. How do we find out? Learn to ask open-ended questions. How are you doing? Where are you from? What's going on? What do you do? What do you like about that? What don't you like about it? And then narrow them down with closed-ended questions. Would it help you if I did this for you? Would it help you if I was able to do this? The second series of questions works in the same manner, in person, on the phone, via email, and media. And that is to ask how they can help you. The most radically humble thing we can do is ask for help. It's the biggest skill that I've learned over the last 13 years that have changed my life and accelerated the ability to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. I cannot help anyone because I can't give what I don't have. And that includes gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, inspiration, and money. And I want to have as much of it as I can to allow it to come through me for other. So utilizing those principles of ask and attract with those 4 mechanisms, and you will be successful at networking.
Awesome. We ask all our guests, we have a campaign, hashtag Find Your Gratitude. So where did you find your gratitude today, David?
I find it in my values, and those values, personal, experiential, giving and receiving. Every day I take inventory of that, and I find my gratitude. I also have a practice of gratitude. I say thank you before I go to bed and when I wake up, which is not an easy practice. I wanted to do it for 30 straight days. It took me 9 months to learn how to do it.
That is awesome. Well, we always have 3 tips for folks, and we're running out of time, so I'm going to run through them really quick. You always say, enjoy persistent, or let's see, enjoy persistence. There we go. Persistently persistent, be persistently persistent, and pursue persistence. Of those 3, just give me 30 seconds on your favorite.
I say enjoy the persistence. As you know, gratitude and happiness is what I seek. And if you enjoy being persistent, you will be consistent as well. And then you can enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential, which is the key to life. It's not the pursuit of happiness. Happiness is the pursuit. And you can enjoy that pursuit. You will be happy every day, and you will manifest what you desire rapidly and accurately.
That's wonderful. I feel like I'm with the Yoda of happiness and gratitude here, David. We could talk all day. It's absolutely wonderful. Listen, where can we learn more about you? Let's put up your website there. It's davidmeltzer.com. Have I got that right?
davidmeltzer.com, or it's dmeltzer.com. Sorry about that. Yeah, dmeltzer.com. Unfortunately, I don't own davidmeltzer.com, but yeah, dmeltzer.com. I do free trainings every Friday. Don't find me. If you look at David Meltzer, I am the David Meltzer, but that guy will not get you. There you go. D Meltzer. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and free training every Friday. Listen, it's been a delight to have you on the show. I know we'll have you back. Your words of wisdom. I love that you make a lot of money. I love that you help a lot of people. And who doesn't love that you're having a lot of fun? So thank you so much, David. Cheers.
Oh, what an honor and a pleasure. Thank you.
Always, you got it. Well, listen, our guest next week is going to be Craig LeMaster. Now, Craig was the CEO of a publicly traded company that he led through 2 major crises, Hurricane Andrew, 9/11. He doubled his company's revenues in his 11-year tenure. He talks about a lot of conversations with senior executives, how to deal with this particular crisis. And before we sign off, we've got an ad from our sponsor, Harper Business Books. We throw that up real quick. Yeah. Oh, look at that. It's our Leading with Gratitude book. Yeah. I love this book, said Ellen Mullally. And he's got a message for all of us. Buy me. Thank you for that sponsorship. Well, listen, I want to say thank you to Justin in the Question Command Center. Wave to the crowd there, Justin. And look at, he's reading that wonderful book. You got to love it. And thank you, Brent, the best producer online in the planet. Look, if you want to see other episodes of Marshall Goldsmith's LinkedIn Lives and his show, or our Leading with Gratitude Live, go to methodsof.com and you can find all that great stuff. Thanks to you guys. Well, listen, hope to see you again. We're here every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll give you great information, great inspiration, your own personal roadmap to create a culture of gratitude at work and at home. I always say, look, be grateful, be kind, be patient. Join us. Same bad time, same bad channel. I'm grateful for our time together. Take care, everybody. Cheers. Wash your hands.